Hey, this is Gene. I can't deal with this anymore, all right? I'm a Manchester United fan for over 50 years. I'm sick and tired of Mark Goldbridge. I just am at this point. Today, a game that we probably should have won. Please excuse the facial issues, okay? You know, it happens later in my life. I don't know what's going on with me. Maybe it's just stress. But again, I've been a Manchester United fan since the day I was about 10 years old. I'm 60 years old right now. And I did everything I could do to support and follow this team when I lived in the United States for years and years and years. Fortunately, the last 30 years or so, I've had access to watch them every week. And of course, I was stationed in England for a while and I got to go see them. But anyway, I have given this guy so much grace over the years because people have said he's not a real fan because he doesn't live in Manchester. Again, there's millions of fans that are Manchester United fans who do not live in Manchester. And I take him at his word that he learned about that team from his grandpa. But I've been giving this man grace so much over the years, and I did a couple videos on him when he does stuff over the top, especially with Mason Greenwood and all that shit. When he decided he was going to get off the fence on him, he lied about shit. And I called him out on that, and it was one of my bigger videos I've ever had. Now, I had thousands of his people defending him and saying that I was apologizing for a rapist. But today, he went to a different level for me. And again, I don't watch him as much as I used to. Today, he's upset because Ruben had to substitute players. It's like he didn't understand that people were injured, and then Casemiro. There's nothing wrong with bringing Ugarte in at the end of the game to try to win out or see out a game. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, if the player goes out there and doesn't do well, that's unfortunate for that player. But what he said after the game, and again, I give him grace. I do. I can watch him during the game. I go back and watch his reactions to it, and he's just spurging out after we go down 2-1. And then, it's changed now because we tied it at 2-2. But he waits till after the game and starts talking about Ruben Amorim by saying that this team has not changed. He thinks that this team has not changed from what it was from last year. He complains that the only thing that we actually need is two good midfielders and we'd be a really good team. Well, how much money do you have to spend to get that? And how quickly has Ineos done this already? We're in a position right now that we could have been second for the last 2 weeks in a row. We didn't get it, but this is the truth here. We could be up at 22 points right now, but we could be like 16th, or we could be at 16 points. We could have drawn against Liverpool, or they could have won the game at the end of the game at Liverpool. So when he sits there and just is foaming at the mouth, saying that Ruben Amorim is not changing the game, is not changing how the team is, and it's like he watches the game. He knows this team is totally different to the team he had last year. We dominated that game. We have the problem of having the killer instincts that we need to have, and we're still faulty in some areas on the pitch. The back line is fine for the most part, but there is something wrong with the midfield, and these are fair criticisms of Manchester United. But he's now blaming Ruben Amorim because of the situation or the injuries that we had, and he had to replace these players. And then he's looking on the field saying, looks like Casemiro is getting a little bit tired. And Casemiro played a good game. But again, these guys are internationals that should be able to see out a game. You can't blame the team or Ruben Amorim because a ball comes off of Richarlison's to win the game for Spurs. We have been a very good team with living by one goal late in the game, trying to fill out those games, and we've done that. We did it against Chelsea. We did it against Liverpool. These are top 4, top 6 type of player teams that we held on at the end, And I'm just hoping that we're going to do it in this game. But instead of just being positive, the fact that for the last 5 games, we have 11 points. 3 of those games were on the road. And yeah, we should have more, right? We might have 15, but we might have just 8. We might have 6. I mean, and also you have to remember that we almost gave up the game against Brighton as well. This team is a work in progress. You cannot sit there after the game and blame Amorim for the changing off the subs, because if nothing happened, and let's say Casemiro got the ball past him, and he was like, why don't you bring on Mount? Why don't you bring on Ugarte? Why don't you do that? And I don't have a problem being critical of the manager. What I have is after the game, again, as you're a fan and you're looking at the stuff, at the moment you go crazy, right? You're like, I can't believe he gave that up, right? But you wait till after the game and you collect your fucking thoughts. You talk everybody in the world, because you've got 50,000 people watching them. And then when you actually get down to it, actually analyzing the game, you make the statement that you say that this team has not changed, that Ruben Amorim has not changed this team. We've changed in every facet that there is for this team, whether you like it or not, right? Personally, I do not like the way, especially in the Premiership, that people play. And I do not like the way that we play. I like the team from the 90s, right? We played almost swashbuckling back then. And we're not that type of players. I have my own issues with all these players, especially in the top 3. The forwards. I definitely have problems. So many times in that game, when Cunha had the ball, he was with 3 or 4 guys on top of him, and he's trying to take all these guys on when the passes are there. There are so many times in that game when he got that second goal, if we just made the passes. Now, a couple times we did, and our big guy didn't make the score, and that happens. But yeah, I think we're more frustrated by the fact that Spurs are shit, even though they're second in the league now, or they're third or whatever. Because we knew that team was not that good, and we pretty much dominated and controlled the entire game. Now, we have to be better. We have to have that killer instinct. But we have changed so much since last year. The mentality's different. Yeah, we've had moments in the game, the things didn't go our way, but we have the mentality to come back and get something out of those games. It's unfortunate, but at the same time, we probably got exactly what we deserved the last 5 games, all right? We played really, really well at home. We played pretty decent well against Liverpool. We played enough. We should have been up in that game early enough and probably got 2 goals against Forest. We didn't do it. Again, the killer instinct. And you're going to find you have to get more and more players that are like that have that ability to do that. And I'm with Mark on the fact that we need a new midfield, okay? But you can't sit there after the game. You're the biggest streamer that talks about Manchester United, and you want to go out there and you want to blame the manager because he had to make changes. What is he supposed to do? People are hurt. And normally he wouldn't have 3 come on at the same time, but they had to do it for that. But you wait till after the game. You should at that point. You're over fucking 40 at this point, right? Mark, take a fucking chill pill. Oh, it sucked. People are upset or mad because they're okay that we got 2 points in the last 2 games. Well, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. You didn't think we're going to finish in the top 6 this year. Maybe you thought we'd be in the top 6. We continue playing at the same level that we're doing right now. We're going to finish, and I think we'll be better than 70 points. That's going to get us in the top 6. That's going to happen. But to sit there and say after the game that Ruben has not really changed this team at all. We have the same issues that we've always had. No, we don't have the same issues. We probably, every game we played, other than the second half against City, we could have won all those games. But being the fact that these teams are very comparatively matched, with except of, at this point, Arsenal, that you can take the win, you could lose, or you can get the draw. That's how it's going to be in the Premiership this year. There's a lot of parity in the Premiership right now. So the idea, what did you think in 1 year that we were going to change the entire team so we have the midfield as well? Well, that might have happened if Bruno left, okay? And he's on both sides of that. And now recently it's been, oh, Bruno should have left when he had the 100 million. Okay, and he was on his ass about today. And I don't think Bruno played well at all today. But there's nothing wrong with the mentality of this team. We have changed so much how we actually structure the team. We can play against anybody in the world with that team, and we're not the finished article. And to say that nothing's changed in the last year since he took over is foolish and wrong. So anyway, I'm going to stop right there. I didn't want to get so angry at the man, but I'm not going to defend him anymore. His takes are just emotional, like he's a fucking female. And I don't understand. He's a dude. He's over fucking 40. Take a time after. If you're going to take you 5 minutes before you have the after show, take that, and then be more rational about what you believe. And I know that's why I got so popular, because I act like this. But okay, you're going through all that stuff and you get all that out of your fucking chest, and then you say what you have to say. You actually believe that this team has not changed. What fucking team have you watched? I mean, seriously, we finished, 17th last year? 16th? I see the future. We're not good enough to challenge for this team for the title this year. But we have changed so much. We don't get run over in games. We compete against these players, other teams. The difference is if we get more and more players like Delict and Brian and Cunha. Cunha just has to do a little bit better when he has the ball. He can't go against four guys all the time, all right? And we have to, when we have the opportunity, we have to make the pass. This is the biggest problem. When I'm watching those games, I see the opportunity, and they just don't do it. Ahmad is the same way. He likes to hold on the ball a bit longer than he should. And these are things that can be trained out of you. And I know there are instances that we see that. We had the right game plan. They were clearly not, their confidence was not there, even though they did well against Copenhagen in the Champions League. They couldn't do anything to us, and they didn't do anything to us the entire game until the end. And even then, it happens like that. You can't allow them to be down there, and that's almost universally this was going to happen. It's unfortunate we didn't see it out, but the mentality was there at the end, and we got the point. Again, that's 11 points out of 5, 3 games on the road, beating Liverpool during that time, and Brighton, who we hadn't beaten in a while. That's a good run of games. But it's just the over-the-top reactionary. Again, you can do that while you're watching the game. As a fan, you act like that. You go crazy. Oh, we scored. Or we did this, and I can't believe we did that. That's fine. When you're watching him while he's watching the game and he's demonstrating, or whatever they call it, going to the top, that's fine. And maybe when you first get in there after the game, you do this. But when you're actually analyzing the game, you cannot make the statement that this team has not changed, that Ruben Amorim has not changed how this team is. It's just an absolutely foolish statement. And I'm going to stop right there. Let me know what you think in the comments. And those who are going to come here to defend Mark, he doesn't need you to defend him. He's making millions of dollars every year, and he lives outside in the country, just sticks away from all the shit that's going on in the urban areas in England. He has taken himself out there and his family so he doesn't have to deal with that stuff. Meanwhile, he says certain things that are anti-English all the damn time. So I wouldn't defend that type of dude. You guys have a good day, and we'll talk to you all later. Bye.